What's up, guys? This is Serge, and welcome back to my series of music theory lessons. Last lesson I explained the 7 elements of music, and today I'm going to explain the 12 notes in Western music.
In our musical alphabet, we only use 7 letters from the alphabet: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. When a note only uses the letter alone, we call this a natural note. If you see this note, we call this A natural or just A. But we have more notes than 7. We have 12 notes. Let me explain something first. In most Western music, the smallest distance we can move from one note to another is called a half step. If we look at this keyboard, if I start at this note and move 1 half step up in pitch, I land at this note. If I start at that same note from before and move 1 half step down, I land at this note. We then have something called a whole step. A whole step equals 2 half steps. If I start at that same note from before and move up a whole step, I land at this note. If I start at that same note and move down a whole step, I land at this note. To move a half step on guitar, I only move 1 fret away from my starting note. If I move a whole step, I move 2 frets away from my starting note. Let's look back at this keyboard. Let's go through all of the white keys first because these are all of the natural notes. Let's start at the note C. We have C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. And then the pattern starts over again at C. When you go through the whole pattern, the names just repeat. Side note, you may notice that even though the pattern repeats, the pitch of the notes gets higher and higher when we move to the right. And when we move to the left, the pitch gets lower and lower. But now you may wonder, what about the skinny black keys in between the white keys? What are their names? Let's explain something first. We have 2 symbols to learn. This symbol means sharp, and this symbol means flat. When you throw this sharp symbol next to a letter, it means you add 1 half step up from your letter. For example, this is the note A. If I told you to play the note A sharp, you would play this note, because it's a half step up from the natural note. This is the note B. If I told you to play the note B flat, then you would play this note. Wait, Serge, A sharp and B flat are the same notes? That's correct. Well, not exactly. These notes are something called enharmonic with each other, where they're spelled differently, but they sound the same. The reason for the 2 different spellings will be explained in a later video. Let's go through all of the 12 notes in our alphabet starting on C. C, C sharp or D flat, D, D sharp or E flat, E, F, F sharp or G flat, G, G sharp or A flat, A sharp or B flat, B, and then we hit C again, and it starts over. Whoa, hold on a second. You played those 2 pairs of white keys with no black keys between them, and you didn't say flat or sharp. Just to be super clear, the notes E sharp and F flat exist, and the notes B sharp and C flat also exist. But for the sake of learning our 12 notes right now, think of them as just the natural notes for now. E, F, B, and C. But yes, if I told you, for example, to play the note F flat, here is F, and here is F flat, because flat means go down a half step. Now, one last thing to mention is that I told you before that if I start on this note here, C, and then I move up to this note here, this is also C. One is lower in pitch and one is higher in pitch, but for some reason they are both called C. We call this an octave. According to Oxford Languages, an octave is a series of 8 notes occupying the interval between and including 2 notes, one having twice or half the frequency of vibration of the other. Remember in this first lesson that this note A vibrates at 440 hertz? If I play the note A that is 1 octave down from that first A, this lower one has a frequency of 220 hertz because it vibrates at half of the rate. Same thing if I start at the first A again at 440 hertz and play an octave up from there, my higher A vibrates at 880 hertz because it vibrates twice as fast. And this pattern continues in each direction. Okay, that concludes our lesson for today. Next lesson I will discuss how we use these notes to create what are called scales. If you like what you saw, subscribe. If not,